just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Hello, good evening. It's Friday night and it's 9 p.m. in the Pacific. Or if you're watching from California, good evening sa inyo. Magandang gabi. And if you're watching us from the Philippines, it is Saturday at 12 noon. Magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. And if you're watching or you will be watching us across the globe, it depends on what time zone and location you're at. Magandang umaga, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I hope you're having I hope your last week is good and you're going to be having a wonderful weekend this week. There's a lot of things happening and we're so excited. Firstly, before we start, live na live po kami ngayon on PHLB Radio Facebook page. Also live na live din po kami on PHLB YouTube channel. So if you are not subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? All you have to do is like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of the PHLB radio shows. Sabi nga nila, if you missed it, you're missing a lot. So I suggest go and subscribe. Now, also, if you're using Amazon Fire TV, all you have to do is look for PHLB radio channel. And if you are one of those who are techie and you are using Alexa, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play PHLB radio. Also, if you are we're also live streaming, live na live din po on audio streaming, different podcasts, namely Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And if you miss any of our shows, or a lot of you are saying, what if we are coming late and we want to see the show and we want to review it and we want to watch it again, no problem. You could be part of our team replay or team look back. That's so easy to do. All you have to do is go to PHLB Radio YouTube channel, or you could go to PHLB web page. All you have to do is log on to www.phlbradio.com. So magandang gabi po uli sa inyong lahat. A little public announcement. Those people, especially in the Philippines, this week and this next week will be the inauguration of the incoming Philippine president, 17th Philippine president, and then other than Ferdinand Marcos Jr., or better known as BBM. He will have his inauguration on at the National Museum. And all you could do is just look at the schedule. It will be posted all over the place. To my understanding, Intramuros and Burgos will be open to the public. So just be careful and just take it easy and enjoy the moment. Again, congratulations to the incoming Philippine president. All we have to do is really pray that he will be successful in with his new administration. Sabi nga niya, pray for him so he will be a good president, because if he's a good president, the Philippines will have a good term for the next 6 years. And also congratulations to the vice president-elect, and then other than Sara Duterte Carpio. She had her swear-in or proclamation or swearing in the vow that happened last week, June 16, and of course, a lot of you have seen it and how she took her oath. So again, congratulations to Vice President Inday Sara Duterte Carpio. That being said, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Ito na po. A lot of you had asked us, because we did a travel log one time, and first on the churches and then some European trips. And now people are asking, can you do another one, since as much as we'd like to travel to Europe, because of still fear of the pandemic, or because of the pandemic itself, limited budget, or the fear of the fear of being quarantined. Although there's no quarantine anymore, there's so much fear on the surge with the monkey. I think there's a monkey thing happening again. So people are just scared. So what we have done is we put together the visit that I did for several countries like Italy, Spain, and France. And hopefully with our little show, you guys could join us and have a tour of all the places I've been and the places we visited. And at least once you guys would have a chance to go and visit Europe, at least you have a bird's eye view on what to see and what to expect. As we go along, I'll do the voiceover of these places. And the first place that we're going to do will be Italy. We did cover part of it already, like the Vatican, which everybody knows it is the smallest country in the world, and it's the Vatican City. We did that the last time. We have a travel log. This time we're going to touch on Rome, parts of Rome, like the Colosseum and the Fontaine de Trevi. And then we move from there. We move to Spain, which is I'm doing Barcelona. I'm leaving Madrid for now because, or else our show will be too long. I'm trying to limit it so at least we'll have a good understanding of all these places. Like we're going to move to Barcelona. We're going to go to the Plaza de Toro, which was the bullfight arena before, until it was proclaimed that they cannot do any bullfight anymore. We'll do the Sagrada Familia, or the Familia Sagrada, which is still the unfinished Catholic church. And supposedly it will be the biggest or the tallest Catholic church once it's finished. And it's ongoing. The construction is on. It's 144 years before, and we were told that it will be completed 2026, and we will discuss that as we move along. And then our last country to visit would be France, and in France we're gonna go to the Palma. We did Pompeii last time and Naples. This time we're gonna go to Nice. We're gonna go to Cannes, and then we're gonna move to Paris, and our end tour will be Eiffel Tower, and we'll discuss more about that. And we'll conclude the show with the City of Life, the beautiful Paris. And then hopefully next time it's not going to be next week, because next week I'm going to have an interview with Felsen Palad, who is a very controversial artist right now. And we'll get to know more about that next week. But definitely, with our next travelogue, we'll touch on Greece, Mykonos, and Santorini, and of course, we're gonna touch also on Venice and some parts of Florence, which we might not be able to discuss today. So that being said, let's start with Italy. So roll our movie or our travel log. Go ahead. Okay, this is Fontaine de Trevi. Fontaine de Trevi, definitely you could see this in Rome. Trevi Fountain is the most beautiful fountain in Rome and the largest fountain in the city. It measures 20 meters in wide or width by 26 meters in height. So it's the biggest ever, or the largest fountain in Rome. The name of Trevi, a lot of people say, why do they call it Fontaine de Trevi or Trevi Fountain? It was derived, Trevi is derived from Trevi, meaning three-way, since the fountain was the meeting place or the meeting point of three streets. Okay? Now, a lot of you have seen that movie, especially the kind of older generation. It's the movie Three Coins in the Fountain. And there's a myth that goes with it. They said, you see, when you go and go to Fontaine de Trevi, you would see a lot of people throwing coins. Okay, what they said is there's this going myth or old urban legend that originated in 1954. And it was because of that movie, Three Coins in the Fountain. The myth says if you will throw one coin into the fountain, you will return to Rome. and if you throw 2 coins, you will fall in love with an attractive Italian, either male or female, depending on your gender. And if you throw 3 coins, you will marry the person you meet. Of course, it's an urban legend. I don't know how true it is, but that was part of that movie. 3 coins in the fountain. And then in order to achieve that myth, they said you have to throw the coin using your right hand across, or throw it with your right hand and throw it towards your left shoulder. So right hand throwing the coins to your left shoulder into the coin. Right hand to your left shoulder into the coin. So 1 coin goes into the fountain, it means you go back to Rome. 2 coins thrown into the fountain, it means you're gonna meet someone, an Italian lady or Italian gentleman. And then if you use 3 coins you throw into the fountain, you will marry that person you met. So that was so interesting to know. That's a trivia I have for you. So you could see right now on our screen, we show the beautiful Fountain de Trevi. And I suggest, if you want to have good picture and have a good view of the fountain, make sure you go there at night, in the evening, because all the tourists or the visitors are not there anymore, and it's not busy if you go there in the evening. You just need to make sure you have a good camera, or you have a good cell phone that could take pictures and videos with little light, okay, or with little lighting. Now we're showing you the streets of Rome. As you could tell, doesn't it remind you of Intramuros? Or it doesn't remind you also, if you guys have traveled, you would have remembered Vigan because of the way it's constructed, and those are buildings of characters. So you would see that. Now it's so close. Also, Fountain de Trevi is so close to the Vatican, and we're not going to touch on the Vatican already because we did that the last travelogue we did for this show. Okay, so but you could tell there's that portion of the Vatican. Yes, you could tell, but we're not, like what I said, we're not going to touch on that. Again, Vatican City is the smallest, so it's a trivia. It is the smallest country in the world. So if you come across on Jeopardy or any quiz show that they ask which is the smallest country in the world, the answer is Vatican City. Now, that's the Colosseum. The Colosseum is known as the Flavian Amphitheater or the Roman Colosseum. Okay, and Filipinos would kind of look at it as if it's the Intramuros. Okay, the walls of Intramuros. It was constructed a long time ago by the Roman Amphitheater, and it measures 188 meters in length, 156 meters in width, and 57 meters in height. And normally it's the exhibition of exotic animals, and then in the past it was the execution of prisoners and recreations of battles and gladiators fight. And then of course, part of the tour that we did is we sampled some of the Italian food that we could have, and that's so interesting. You would see that on the screen itself too, that we had how they do the famous tiramisu. The tiramisu is, if you are in Italy, it's their staple dessert, and they do it homemade, and they do it right in front of you. So they use all the fresh ingredients, and they will show it to you, and they use all the fresh ingredients that they could find locally, and they will do it beside your table. And that would remind you, like when you go to a Mexican restaurant, this is almost the same when you order guacamole for the Mexican dip. It's almost the same how they do it. The difference is that they're doing in Italy, their staple dessert is tiramisu, and they do it really, really fresh. One of the things too, and you would see that on screen, is how they do those Italian pastas. And then for some reason, and we already said that long time ago, the pizza as well as the pasta in Italy are so delicious. I mean, you don't have to have so many meat, and sometimes it's just the sauce itself. And what makes it different is the pasta that they use, as well as the amazing cheese that they put on your pasta, and everything is fresh. The pasta is done as and it's prepared, and it's homemade. It's not like from a box, or it's not like if for us Filipinos, we normally get either the pasta from Costco or the spaghetti, the royal spaghetti if you are from the Philippines. But in Italy, everything is done fresh. Okay, from their pasta to their cheese, to everything. You don't have to have so much meat on those pata. The sauce itself is a meal on its own. Before we continue, happy viewing to Gina Marcos. Hello, Gina. And Alexander Francisco as well. Hello to you. Happy viewing, and hopefully you're enjoying our travel log. So at least, even though you are not able to go to Europe right now, at least what I said earlier, through this show of ours, you are able to see it and experience it, and to see the beautiful views and sights that Europe, especially Italy, Spain, and France, would be able to offer. Okay. So now these are the streets of Italy. It reminds, and the streets are really narrow, and of course, just like Metro Manila or just anything in the world, it is so difficult. It's challenging to be able to park. Mahirap po ang parking. So it would be best in either you hire a private car, or you do the hop on, hop out. Okay? And this is a bus that you could go in and just pay a certain amount, and you could hop in, and then you could go, and when you go to a location that you really like, you could come down on it, and then you could hop on again for the next area of interest. Okay, now the next one is the Spanish Steps. A lot of you are very familiar with this because this is where most of the tourists would hang out. And it's part of Piazza de España, and it's a magnificent example of Italian Baroque style Piazza de España, which is the most visited square in Rome. And that's where the Spanish Steps is located. The Spanish Steps, Del Monte, were built at the beginning of the 18th century, connecting Piazza de España and the Church of Trinity de Monte. And that's, as you could tell, there's a lot of people because this is where they hang out, this is where they meet all their friends. And besides these Spanish Steps are the shopping centers. This is like the Rodeo Drive, and that's where the Via Veneto is located. And that's where you see all those famous designer, or you call that the branded stores. And that's so close, like a corner, a one-step corner to that Via Veneto, where you could find all these specialty stores. And if you are Filipinos in the Philippines, imagine going into Glorieta or Green Hills or Greenbelt, and it's not covered, but you see all those beautiful places that surround this area. It's really, as they said, it's a playground of the rich and famous. And these are some of the monuments that you would see all over Rome. Then it was, so we did, and the buildings here are so magnificent. If you're traveling and you're not familiar, think of Intramuros. Those buildings, the iconic buildings, these are, in my mind, almost similar to that. Now what you're seeing on screen is the Pantheon. The Pantheon, or it was completed in 126 AD, or after that, was a Roman temple with surprising oculus. You're seeing the oculus. That is the building's main source of natural light. So it has it's a dome, and there's the oculus right there. In the interior of the Pantheon, which you're seeing right now, are tombs of numerous Italian kings, and a multitude of artworks are found. The best-known person who can be found buried in Pantheon is without a doubt the painter and Renaissance architect Raphael. And this is really surreal. That's why all the paintings are hang all over the place, and it's so crowded when we went there, because it is really one of those Roman architecture that is so well preserved. And to me, it reminds me of Philippine Post Office, at least the facade. If you go to that portion of Manila, which is close by the river, the Pasig River, there's almost similarity on the structure. But once you go inside, it's a different story, and it's so amazing. And see all those buildings. Does it remind me of Intramuros? See, now we were able to capture some video footage of it. Yeah. So again, we do most of the trips, or that we're back to Fontaine de Trevi. This was shot in the evening. As you could tell, there's not a lot of people in there, simply because this was almost midnight, and the fountain, they never close because it's in the middle of the city. So you go there as you please. But I again suggest that if you want a good picture and it's not a lot of crowd, and you could have your own moment, and you could do your own introspection by the fountain, the best way is to go there like around 11 p.m. up to, I would say, 1 a.m. because it's so quiet, it's safe. If you ask me, what about safety? Am I supposed to worry about being mugged? Not at all, because there's a lot of security people and they're so used to tourists. Now what you're seeing is Piazza Navona. It's Piazza Navona. The Baroque style Piazza Navona is one of the most charming and popular squares in Rome. And what makes it very unique, it's a plaza or piazza, or we call it plaza, but in Italy they call it piazza. And it has 3 fountains designed during during Pope Gregory VIII. Okay, and then of course now you're seeing the seat of power, which would be that's where they call it the Congress or the Senate, and this is like what you're seeing right now is the government building. It's so beautiful. I think I say that one of the beautiful places to visit is Italy. Now our next stop will be Positano. Positano is again, okay, we'll show that. Okay, now this is the port of Positano. As what we did is we take a cruise going to Positano. Okay, hello Feli Alfien, how are you? We're doing a tour here. Sabi niya, hi Kuya, what a beautiful place. Enjoy your vacation and stay safe always. Thank you. Okay, this is the road going to Positano. Positano is most famous and iconic village on the Amalfi Coast. The spectacular strip of coastline with the turquoise water of the Mediterranean Sea to one side and the peak of Latari Mountains to the other. What they're most famous for is, that's why Positano is called the vertical village. And it looks like a pyramid of colorful houses lining the coastal cliff directly above the water when seen from the sea. Okay, one of the things, and this is a UN historic landmark, and they cannot. It's so weird because like when you go to, if you're in Manila and you go around going towards, I would say Marikina, you would see almost similar in structure. Of course, Filipinos were very creative. You would see all these houses painted in different color. In my mind, it is reminiscent of this Positano or Positano, and you could tell all these houses are vertical village with different colorful houses, and it's a landmark and it's really a sight to see. When we got there, it was still kind of drizzling, so it is wet and it's kind of slippery to go there, but it is one of those that not to be missed. This is one that you need to see for yourself. And there's a lot of places that you can see, but this is uniquely can be found in Positano. So beautiful, you could tell. So this houses, colorful houses, is lining up the coastal cliff. So it's on a cliff. Remember? And then you could see the water. So the view is really spectacular and surreal. And these are the roads going to a church. There's a church that's by the cliff, and I by now you know that I like those beautiful churches, and I would say if you are into beautiful churches, old beautiful churches with beautiful structure, I would suggest for you guys to visit Rome because they have almost a church in every corner, and they are simply breathtaking. It reminds me of San Agustin Church. It reminds me of Manila Cathedral. It reminds me of San Sebastian Church. Beautiful altar, beautiful structure. Yeah, so through the church, through the steps of the church, you can see those pyramid of colorful houses. Again, Positano is known or called the vertical village because of this pyramid of colorful houses on a cliff. And so it's you could tell it was drizzling when we got there. So we tried as much as possible to take good pictures as well as videos when we could. It doesn't remind you, this church reminds you of Our Lady of Perpetual Help, especially in the evening. It's very solemn, it's very quiet, and not a lot of people would go there. But of course, being Filipino and Catholic at that, this is a place that normally is visited or frequently visited by Filipinos or Filipino Americans. Look at that, how beautiful this church is at this particular time. Yeah, so now this is another church in Napoli, Italy. Napoli is well known for their pizza. Remember, there's the pizza that they have there. I was not able to take pictures because once this pizza was given to us, we consume it like in a jiffy. We kind of devour it so quickly that before I could even take a picture, it's gone. And the Napoli pizza is one of the best, if not the best pizza I've tasted. And it has to be, they said it has to be the water that they use. I still need to understand what that means, but definitely next time I go back to Napoli, I would definitely research on that and I'll share it with you guys, our audience. Now we're moving to Florence. Florence, this is the port of Florence, and you could tell we got there early morning. Maganda po yung view pag maaga kami. So because it is, we want to make sure that we have a good time as well as far as enough time to be able to go around Florence. In Florence, you could see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, or Italian Torre Pendente di Pisa. It is a medieval structure in Pisa. This is famous for the settling because it's leaning, right? So the foundation, which caused it to lean 5.5 degrees or about 15 feet from the perpendicular in the late 20th century. Extensive work was subsequently done to strengthen the tower, and its lean was ultimately reduced to less than 4 degrees. As you could tell, there's 3 buildings if you go there. May tatlong building po sa compound na yan. One is the baptismal, one is the Leaning Tower, which is the bell tower, and the cathedral. And yeah, now you're seeing the 3 structures. The one that looks like a dome-like is the baptismal, and now what you're seeing at the middle is that's a dome, which is the baptismal. Because in the olden days, you cannot enter the cathedral if you are not baptized. So what they did is they constructed 3 of those. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is really the bell tower. Okay? And then, of course, you see the cathedral. So they are situated in Pisa, Italy. And then if you go to the Leaning Tower itself, it is a sight to see. One of the things I missed because of time, I was not able to go up the tower, but next time I would have a chance to go to the Leaning Tower, I will make an effort to climb. I was told, if I am not mistaken, it's 265 steps to go from the ground to the top of the Leaning Tower. Now we go to Piazza del Duomo. This is the largest city square, contains the Basilica of Santa Maria del Fiore, the third largest cathedral in the world after St. Peter's in Rome and St. Paul's in London. The Basilica of Santa Maria del Fiore, or Florence Cathedral, as known, is a Gothic masterpiece characterized by colored marble exterior. Yon, so beautiful, this cathedral. Just like anything else, again, it's divided into 3 sections. Now, what you're seeing on screen is the cathedral. That's the facade of the cathedral. It's so magnificently placed. As it was described, it's a Gothic masterpiece. And then to its right, if you're facing right in front of the facade of the church, is the bell tower, which is almost connected to the church. And then onto its right, onto its left, is the baptismal area. Just because of time constraint, I was not able to go in, but definitely next time I have a chance, I will definitely go in and do a much better video. See, now you can tell the 3 buildings that's in Piazza del Duomo. A lot of you is asking or texting me right now, what's a piazza? Piazza is plaza. Like you have the Plaza Miranda, you have the Plaza Santa Cruz. It's really a plaza, but in Italian, they call it piazza. Yeah, so beautiful. So, and then the streets, look at that. I mean, doesn't remind you again of Vigan, or doesn't remind you of Intramuros. It's very clean. It just rained, but people are kind of disciplined. And now this is Florence at night. Why you have a night picture of that is because Florence is well known, especially for Filipinos, for outlets. They have the best outlet there. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so there you go. So it's well known. So a lot of people, when they go to Florence, the first thing they do is the outlet, because they have the best outlet, and it's they said it's reasonably priced. I'm guilty. When we went there, I spent a lot of time in one store. And I believe that's our tour of Italy. And next time I would have a video. Once I finish visiting Venice, I'll have a good footage of that next time in the next travel log. I think now we're moving to Barcelona, Spain. Let's see, Barcelona. Yeah, Barcelona, Spain. Okay, so from there, we moved to Barcelona, Spain. Don't ask me why, but instead of going to France, which is so close to Italy, we decided we fly into Barcelona. Barcelona is an old city, as you could tell, with the buildings and the structure. It's beautiful, and it's Filipinos. There's a lot of Filipinos there working because of the language. Although it is, they call it Latin American Spanish, which is different from a Latino or Mexican Spanish. This is the type of Spanish that a majority of Filipinos in the country learn. This is the formal Spanish. The formal Spanish, like yo soy, nosotros, all those formal Spanish way, or they call it the educated Spanish, not to describe anyone. It's not, if it's a language, it is not a dialect, but it's a formal language. If you are Chinese, this is the version of Mandarin. It's in Spanish, but it's more formal. So a lot of Filipinos, they survive here, and what you're seeing right now is the street. This street is so interesting because the street, you will see a lot of vendors there, street vendors that would sell, or who sells all those imitations, just like if you go to Quiapo or Divisoria. It's almost the same, other than instead of Filipinos selling their wares, these are Spanish people doing that. And it's so funny too, because during the time that we visited, this is where normally they are lined up. Then the police people will try to catch them, so you would see them carrying their wares, and they're running to hide all their merchandises. And this is really that's why we're joking that this is a typical scene that we see also in the Philippines. when the police officer, the law enforcers would be running, and trying to shoo away the vendors who were selling their wares. So they do have that in Barcelona as well. So I guess every city, and my dad was right, as they said, every city in the world is just like anything else. It's almost the same, if not exactly the same as the Philippines. Hmm? So these are the different structures, and this reminds me of Metro Manila, or the city of Manila, with all these structures like Lautan, with all those monuments, and that would show and would give value to all those people who have served, or they call it the unsung heroes. So we're still working on Barcelona. So it's a lot of people said that Barcelona is friendlier compared to other cities, and most Filipinos we met there who works there, they like it there because it's so easy for them to adapt to the language. Of course, except some countries, of course, they speak English, but because of the language, it's easier for them to be able to thrive in Barcelona or even in Madrid, simply because Filipinos who were under the Spanish rule for I think 200 plus years, the learning Spanish, or the languages of the Philippine language, the Tagalog language, there's so many Filipino words in there, or Tagalog words, that is not that difficult with the Spanish language, like boca is your mouth, nariz is your nose, and then ojos is your eyes, things like that. That's almost similar to the Philippine language, or at least there's a lot of Spanish words. Now, just like in Rome, the difference, that's why I have a script video here. The streets are kind of wide, and parking is, again, not as bad compared to Rome, but still a challenge to be driving in Barcelona, Spain. So what I would suggest, for if you're going to be a tourist, the best way really is to either hail a cab, or you could do Uber. They do have Uber there. And this is now where you're seeing are the other sceneries as we do our ocular and we do our sightseeing in the beautiful place called Barcelona, Spain. Yeah, so here we move to Palma and Mallorca, Spain. Okay, you'll see that, and then again we took again another cruise going in there, and look at the port. This is the port, which is, and the reason why we went there because we want to go to the Cathedral of Santa Maria de Palma, and it's a very, very famous cathedral, and you'll see in a minute why I say that it is one of those sites that you need to see and visit. So this happens early morning. It's always easy and advisable to start early, so you could have so many areas to see, especially if you want to cover as much places in that particular location. And the only way to do that is do it very early. As they said, the adage, early one catches, or early bird catches the early one. Yeah, so that's how clean their sea or the port, and we always want that someday Manila Bay and the port, especially the one, our port, would look at that. And of course, this is Mallorca, Spain. Yeah, that's how it looks like from a distance. Okay. Yeah, so you could tell we're going through some of the things that were handed out to us, the brochures on what to expect when you go to Barcelona, and especially in the Palma or in Mallorca. There you go. And this is their marina, which is comparable to the Manila Bay. Okay, this building is the Plaza de Toros Monumental de Barcelona. Plaza de Toros. Okay? The Plaza de Toros, often known simply as the Monumental, is a building in the city of Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain. It was the last bullfighting arena in commercial operation in Catalonia. It was inaugurated in 1914. It has a capacity of 19,582 within 26 rows of lines, boxes, and stands on the first floor and an upper gallery surrounding the building. This is the most interesting part. It was the last place in Catalonia where bullfights were held in 2011, since the Parliament of Catalonia passed a law banning bullfighting events as of July 2010. So even though the structure is still there, bullfighting is no longer in operation in Barcelona. And the last one that they had a bullfight event was in 2011. Okay, now what you're seeing is the Cathedral of Santa Maria de Palma. Okay. Hi Edgardo and Predicio is watching. Hello, happy viewing. We're doing a European highlights of Italy, Spain, and France. Now, this Cathedral of Santa Maria of Palma, one of Mallorca's most famous landmarks, showcased beautiful Gothic architecture and pieces by some of Spain's greatest artists. Fused stonework and sculpture dating back to the 14th century and designed by Gaudi when you visit the superb Mallorca Cathedral. So it's too majestic, the cathedral itself. If you notice the high decorative facade of the Mallorca Cathedral, it points in the direction of Mecca rather than Jerusalem, as nearly all cathedrals did at the time the cathedral was built. That follows the design of the mosque present on this site long before the cathedral construction began in 1300. Outside the cathedral is the High Point spires. The exterior was actually a late addition after the 1851. Okay? Yeah, now you're seeing, now we're going back. We went back to the ship. That's why it's a night video or night pictures that we have right there. Hi, June Bayaton. Hi, June. I think it reminds you of your own travel. June is my good friend from Cebu. And I know, June, you were able to visit some of the places, and maybe this will kind of bring back good memories during the time. Now, what you're seeing is the famous Sagrada Familia. We'll talk about that later, because what we're going to do is we're going to explore that in great detail, especially when we go in there. Okay, the Sagrada Familia. Okay, the Sagrada Familia is so amazingly beautiful. Okay, this was, let's see. It's still under construction. It's forever under construction. And a lot of you are asking, how come it is taking so long? And the reason being is, okay, let's see. Why are they so famous, you might ask? The Sagrada Familia is famous for being one of the most iconic examples of Antoni Gaudi unique style. Si Antoni Gaudi po. Combining elements of art, Catalan modernism, and Spanish late Gothic design. The theme, nature, figures prominently in Gaudi's design, both in terms of symbolism and the use of organic shapes and forms. Why it's not finished? To this day, the church is not finished. It's still unfinished and will not be completed until 2026. That's their target because of the halt in construction. And if you ask me, what's the story behind that? The origin of Sagrada Familia is around 1866, when a congregation of devotees of Saint Joseph had the idea of building a temple in his honor. The first stone was laid in 1882 on March 19, which is the feast of Saint Jose or Saint Joseph, in the middle of the land of 12,000 square meters. Okay, and then it has been under construction for 144 years now. And then Gaudi, the famous painter Gaudi, is buried there. It is a man-made masterpiece inspired by nature, and it's the tallest religious building in Europe. And then that's the inside, because we did a tour. It's additional cost for that, but look how beautiful it is, beyond compare. And I have a video to show that too. Okay, with how much does it cost? You might ask. With an estimated annual income of 90 million US dollars from the ticket sales, and an annual construction budget of roughly 60 million, according to the data from the Sagrada Familia. The payment will not affect the rhythm of construction. As I said, work is scheduled to finally finish in 2026 on the centennial of Gaudi's death, which is going to be November 26, 2018. Now, is Sagrada Familia the biggest church in the world? The completion of the spires, yung parang pang-peak niya, will make Sagrada Familia the tallest church building in the world, which is 11 meters taller than the current record holder, the Minster, which is 161.5 meters or 530 feet at its highest point. Okay, now you might ask, how old is this building? How old is Sagrada Familia? 140 years old na po siya. And then I suggest it is really worth visiting. What we did too, if you notice, we went all the way to the top portion, and you see there. If you have not a strong heart and you don't like height, I highly would not allow you or would not suggest to take that tour, because it allows you to go up all to the top of the sphere or one of the spheres, and then they take you all the way up by elevator, but on the way down it's a spiral staircase, and you'll see in a minute. It is so scary. I was practically glued to the wall, and slowly all of us are doing step by step as we descend from the topmost, and there's no way out. There's no way. You really have to do. You have to use the steps to go down this spiral steps, and you'll see how in my mind it's so dangerous, because anybody could fall into that space, and I'll see that in a minute. And this is the view, and I'm trying to capture here the whole view, 360 degrees view of how beautiful this church is, the interior of it. Yeah, with all the columns. Yeah, it's just, and then the mosaic on all corners of the wall. It's one of those that you will be at awe, simply at awe, with its grand design, and it's just so surreal, and it's unbelievable. It's so beautiful beyond compare. Yeah, June Bayaton said yes. Yeah, I know you did a tour as well. I saw that on Facebook, and this might kind of remind you of the places you've been. But I suggest, if you have time, don't just have pictures outside of the Sagrada Familia. What you need to do too, and highly advisable, is for you to have the tour. Not necessarily the tour up to the spheres, but just do the whole inside of the church. It's kind of pricey, but if you do it online, it is suggested, because there's a lot of people that would like to see this area and this amazing place. It's one of those must-see in one's lifetime, and I know there's a lot of you had put this as part of your one of your bucket list. Yeah, see what's inside the Sagrada Familia. Sagrada Familia has 18 towers, each of which has a special significance. The tower dedicated to Jesus Christ is in the middle, and the four towers represent the gospel surrounding it. The surrounding, of course, is Mark, Luke, John, and Matthew. The towers above the apex, which has a star, represent the Virgin Mary. And so everything is so symbolic in this church. Yeah. So there's the landscape picture of it. See, and that's it's almost in the afternoon already, so you could tell that's how beautiful this mosaic as it reflects on the sun. So it gives that light, and it's just mind blowing, and it gives you that feeling of closeness to the Creator, and it gives you amazing feeling of being solemn, being peaceful, being so close to the Creator, and its beauty in its majesty. Okay, now here are some of the sketches of Sagrada Familia. Yeah, so these are the towers. So this, I was telling you, we were able to do the tour. I will never do this tour ever again because it is so scary. You go all the way up to the spire that they allow. It's the very top of the cathedral. And then this is what I was telling you, the spiral cave. Look at that. There's no railings. So you see that like the middle of it that look like a shell, like if you fall into that, you go all the way from the top to the ground. So what we did was we were like so close. See, look at that. So there's no railing on this thing. So it's if you don't have if you have a fear of heights, I don't suggest for you to do this. So we were going down these stairs from the very top to the bottom, like we were glued to the wall. And we're doing it step by step, very cautiously and carefully, for the fear of we might fall into that center, that spiral center, and it might not be a very nice scene if that happened. Okay, now here's some portions still of Sagrada Familia. Yeah, there's some literature that we took pictures of, and see that's the supposedly how the church would look like once it's constructed, once it's finished constructed, and of course they have a view that is upside down, and of course they said it will be completed. See, that is the picture or the structure or the 3D of how it would look like once it's finished in 2026. See, that's how it would look like when it's done. Okay, see, at the middle is Jesus Christ and the four apostles, Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John on the other spheres. That would be the mini structure of how the church would look like once it's completed. Yeah, and then if you go closer, so beautiful, amazing. Now I believe we go to France. Am I correct? I think our next video is France. Let's see. Yeah, so we moved into France, and this is the Port Pierre Canto. It's located in Cannes. A lot of people would say Cannes, but it's really Cannes. On the fabulous southern France, the port lies right at the end of Boulevard Creuset. Pierre Canto Marina is one of the most renowned Cannes ports that focuses on water sports and nautical activity. So it's Cannes, and this is the Port Canto in Cannes, France. Cannes is a city located on the French Riviera. It is a community located in the Alpes-Maritimes department and hosts the City of Annual Cannes Film Festival and the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity. And of course, Filipinos would know this is where the Cannes Film Festival is where the star of Marosa Jacqueline Jose won as Best Actress. The only Filipina or the only the only Asian who won this prestigious award as Best Actress in Cannes Film Festival. So that makes her a record. Gave her the record of the only Asian as well as the only Filipina who was able to do that. And then, of course, a lot of you would say the first director who was able to have a showing of a film is Lino Broca, and the movie that was shown then was In Siyang of Hilda Coronel way back. Happy viewing to June V. Macalinaw. Sabi niya, hello po, hello to you too. We're seeing portion of the trip that I did, and this is Cannes in France. Okay. So we're showing the port, Pierre Canto, and then of course this is the city of France. Yeah, so we hired a private vehicle for this. It's a van, and the 7 of us, we tour around that area. I wasn't able to show you the theater where they have it because it was not included in this file, but hopefully in my next trip I will be able to show that. And the reason why we went there, we want to go to Monte Carlo Resort, and then we're gonna go to we're gonna pass by Nice as well as Antibes, and these are all in the French Riviera. And then we're gonna go to Monaco as well, and it's famous because of the Queen, who happens to be a Hollywood actress named Grace Kelly. So this is on our way to Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is well known for their beautiful casinos, and of course it's the playground of the rich and famous. And you're still seeing some of the highlights of our trip to Cannes, France. And then now you're seeing the Promenade de la Croisette, which is the waterfront avenue with Palm Street. La Croisette is known for picturesque beaches, restaurants, cafes, boutique, and luxury hotels. Yeah. So this is what your view across, and then these are the Antibes. Antibes is a coastal city in the Alps Maritime Department of southeastern France, okay, between Cannes and Nice. So dahil it is a coastal city, yeah, so there's a lot of fishes that I haven't seen. And this is their marina. It looks like, to me, it looks like the Manila port. Just a lot cleaner, but it's almost the same. So I suggest, and then if you ask me, what about the food? If we had wonderful pasta in Italy or in Rome, the wine in France is next to none. They are amazingly wonderful. And to them, for the French people, wine is just water to them. So you always consume wine. Yeah, this is the highway or freeway going to Nice and going to Monaco, and that's it's very nice, very orderly. You don't see it like very different from EDSA, because look, the cars are well disciplined, no swerving. It's quiet, just like anything else. You don't hear honking the way we're used to if you are visiting the Philippines. And then what you're seeing right now is one of their arenas. It's Allianz Riviera, and they have that stadium where they have their soccer or our American football, which we call. And we are going now, and this is the streets of Monte Carlo. And we were not able to go to the castle. We could only see the castle from a distance because we didn't have the luxury of time. And these are the buildings going to Monte Carlo. And again, the structure is unbelievably beautiful. This is one of the casinos. This is the facade of the building of the Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo Resort, one of the 4 sections of Monaco or Monaco. It is situated on the escarpment on the base of Maritime Alps along the French Riviera on the Mediterranean, just northeast of Nice, France. Monte Carlo is officially an administrative area of the Principality of Monaco, especially the ward of Monaco Carlo, where the Monte Carlo Casino is located. Yep, so all the stores there is just fabulous. Every designer that you could think of, from Bulgari to Dior to Louis Vuitton to anything, Balenciaga to Givenchy, everything is there, and this is the place that if you have money to burn, this is the place. Oh, that's the picture of the castle of the prince or the king, and that used to be where Grace Kelly, the Queen Grace Kelly, who used to be an American actress, used to live until her demise because of a car accident. And that's the castle where they stayed, and that's the map going there if you have the time. It reminds me so much of the London Castle. Okay, this one now is another church that we visited. It's like there's so many churches in Europe, and if you, like what I said earlier, previously said, if you really into Gothic and structures and beautiful churches, you would be so amazed on the multitude of churches that around the area that you could visit, and you could adore, and you could take pictures. They're just magnificently constructed, and it's just breathtaking. It's a word. I'm speechless saying them. So we went to the high point, or the highest point of France, and this is what we're seeing. And they have this garden that you could go up. It's so stiff from where if you don't have the stamina to go up the hill, I would not suggest this, but the view is just breathtaking. Reminds me of Coron in Palawan. That's where you could see the 365 degrees of the whole city. And then, of course, there's this church. It reminds me of the movie Sound of Music, where they have the church within the valley, and that's the church that we visited as well. Again, another 365 degrees view. Yeah, so now we're back to Paris, and now we're back at the airport. And now we're gonna be visiting, of course, the world famous Notre Dame Cathedral. So you'll see that in a minute. This is another church right across our hotel, which is right across from Notre Dame Cathedral. And as you know, Notre Dame Cathedral, remember there was a fire. It kind of destroyed those 2 towers that we have here. But the constructions are ongoing right now to restore majority of what was destroyed during the time. This was taken prior to the fire. So those 2 towers were destroyed during the fire. And this is a 360 degrees view of Notre Dame. Okay, the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, or Notre Dame de Paris, meaning Our Lady of Paris in French, is a Gothic cathedral located in the fort arrondissement of Paris. It has its main entrance to the west The island is on the eastern half of the area. Notre Dame Cathedral, with its structures and stained glass windows, show the heavy influence of naturalism, unlike that of the early Roman architecture. It is one way of the very first Gothic cathedral, and its construction took place throughout the Gothic period. Now you're seeing Paris at night, and now you would know why Paris is considered the city of light. Um, this, if you are well traveled and you've been to Las Vegas, this is almost the same when it comes to light. It is almost the same as Las Vegas, because that's why it's the city of light. The whole city, it's party place, and it seems like it's like New York, minus the theater. But there's lots and lots of people flocking into different plaza or piazza where you meet and you drink, you eat. And these are some of the structures. And this is the government building that they have. Okay, that is empowering or towering in the middle of the city. And these are the famous stores, that eating places that are frequented, or that these are a must-try places. Okay, Emma Consul is watching. Hi, Emma. How are you? And then you would see you would see that these are the buildings that you would see in the structure. If you notice, it's almost the same as what I showed you during our visit in Rome. But they're almost the same. But it's an old city, and of course the structure is just one of those. Junvi said, "Wow, what a beautiful place. Stay safe." Yes, we are. Thank you. And again, there's so many structures and things that delightfully to see. These are the plaza that they have. They have so many plaza. Reminds me of Loton, and it reminds me of Liwasang Bonifacio. If you have been to the Philippines, we almost have the same. It's not as beautiful as this because these were done in centuries, but at least you could tell there's some similarities in the building, and you could be so proud of as well. As they said, anywhere in the world, there's some places that you would be proud of, and this is one of those that one of the things that you really need to see, at least in your once lifetime. And of course, upcoming now is our trip to the Eiffel Tower, and that will be our last stop for this travelogue. And so again, so this is the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower, or French for Tour Eiffel, it's a landmark that is also technological masterpiece in building construction history. When the French government was organizing the International Exposition of 1889 to celebrate the centenary of the French Revolution, a competition was held for design for a suitable monument. More than 100 plans were submitted, and the Centennial Committee accepted that of the noted bridge engineer Gustave Eiffel. Eiffel concept of a 300-meter or 984 foot tower built almost entirely open iron aroused amazement, skepticism, and no little opposition as far as the aesthetic is concerned. When completed, the tower served as the entrance gateway to the exposition. The tower itself, ito po yung size ng Eiffel Tower, is 300 meters or 984 feet high. It rests on a base that is 5 meters or 17 feet high, and the television antenna atop the tower gives a total elevation of 324 meters or 1,063 feet. The Eiffel Tower was the tallest structure in the world until topping off the Chrysler Building in New York City in 1929. Okay, and the last one we're showing is the Arc de Triomphe. Okay, Arc de Triomphe. Okay, it is Napoleon in 1806 was inaugurated by the French King Louis Philippe, who dedicated the army of the unknown. Okay, so the Arc de Triomphe honors those who fought and died for France during the French Revolution and the Napoleonic War. Within that structure are names of all French victories and generals inscribed on its inner and outer surfaces. Under the vault lies the tomb of the unknown soldiers from the First World War. Yeah, so those are structures that you see all over the streets of Paris. So again, if you are able to travel, maybe not this year, maybe next year, I highly recommend that you need to see these places. This one is Saint-Pierre de Montemar. This is another church that is so beautifully constructed. This is always used as a venue for Hollywood movies, especially on the Tom Cruise movie for Mission Impossible. They did a couple of scenes here, and that's overlooking Paris. It's one of those that it's a sight to see again. It's a lot of walking, if you ask me. So I always tell people who would be visiting Europe to wear comfortable shoes, get rid of your heels, and get rid of your sandals. Use comfortable rubber shoes or tennis shoes if you could. And because there's a lot of walking, but the food, it's one to behold, whether in France or Italy or Spain. But you won't gain weight simply because you'll be having wine and a lot of walking, although you're eating a lot of pasta as well. Yeah, so that's the 360 degrees of the whole area overlooking Paris. So now we're seeing Paris in its full glory. So the next travelogue we will have would be in a couple of months. I'm not promising I could go live when we visit Mykonos. I'll be going to the Greek Isles of Mykonos and Santorini, and I know a lot of people who live in the Philippines. They said that Balisin is almost the mini Mykonos Santorini like, so that would be a sight to see. Now you're seeing Louvre pyramid, and this is the if you have seen that movie of Tom Hanks, it is Angels and Demons. This is where those were filmed. And then one of the things too that you could do if you have time is you could always go and do the Demons and Angels and Demons tour. And you will go as if you will kind of do the footprint of how the movie was made and those places where it was shot. And they have some clues. It's like a mystery type of tour that you could have. Okay, this is Paris at night. And then we did the tour at night because we want to see the famous City of Lights. Why they call it the City of Lights. And here we go. And then Juliet Marcos, how are you? Happy viewing to you. You could just always go back and review the beautiful city. And this is Notre Dame at night from the facade, front side and the back side as well. And a lot of you who are well-traveled, like Emma as well as Chu Abayaton, at least just give you time to reminisce the places you visited in the past, and hopefully juggle your memory that in this time and age, it is important that money is good to save, but you always would like to save memories, because with the pandemic that took place, your money can buy if you are sick. Those are things that you need to forgo. But one thing is for sure, you cannot take those money with you, but the memories would stay. That's the Moulin Rouge you're seeing right now. Remember that movie of Nicole Kidman? That's there's a real Moulin Rouge that is really a restaurant. We were not able to enter that, but we were able to pass by as we take our tour. Okay, this is the Eiffel Tower at night, and this will be our last stop. Yeah, and then of course at night they would light they would light the whole place, and it looked like a mini Christmas tree, and you could only see this at night. So that's how beautiful this thing is. For those people, the Filipinos abroad who have visited Las Vegas, there's Paris Hotel, and they have a replica of the Eiffel Tower. What I tell is it's not a bad replica, but to see the original, nothing compares. I would say nothing compares as always with the original. It's a good replica, it's a good copy, but to be where the tower itself, to be able to go in there, it is mind-blowing. One of the things that I would do next visit, I have given the opportunity, there is a restaurant on the basement as well as on the first and second floor. It will be tough to get a reservation, but that's one of the bucket lists that I'd like to do sometime in the future, that I would be able to visit France and have a good dinner or lunch at the Eiffel Tower restaurant. And that would be my next travelogue that I'll share with you. But for the time being, what we did was we had a travelogue of the visit to Rome in Italy, the Pisa, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Florence. We went to Spain in Barcelona. We visited the Plaza de Toro, where they have the bullfight in the past, the bullfighting. And then we went to Cannes, we went to Nice, and then we visited, of course, some of the ports that they have to compare with other ports that we have seen in the past. And of course, we visited some churches. And the last stop we did was France. We went to Cannes again, and then we went to the Eiffel Tower. And one of the things that, to me, my highlight of that, if you ask me, will be the Eiffel Tower, the Sagrada Familia, and of course, the whole idea of being in a place that in the past you only see it in pictures, you read it in books, you see it in history books, but I cannot describe the feeling once you are able to walk on those places where you used to read them or see them in picture. The feeling is so surreal and it's so undescribable. Will make you speechless, and you will be so at awe. And of course, it will give you a different view of the world, and it will make you a more rounded individual. So that would be the end of our travelogue. I am hoping that you enjoy all of it. It was so much fun to be with you as always. And those people who will be watching the replay or the team replay or team review, happy viewing to you. And of course, tomorrow I'll see you at 1 o'clock for my other show, which is Dear Kuya Josh. The title of tomorrow's episode will be Kislap sa Dilim, and the topic would be a cancer. The letter sender is a cancer survivor, and we have a guest host tomorrow who will be talking about the discovery when she discovered that she has cancer, and the process that she went through, the treatment she went through, and then where she is right now, and the challenges that went in there. And I invite all of you who are watching or will be watching this video to please join us tomorrow. It's 10 p.m. here in the Pacific, and it's 1 p.m. on a Sunday in the Philippines, because that's why we called it Kislap sa Dilim, because in darkness, there's hope. There's a spark of hope. And it's one of those that will be exciting to know how a person who discovered a sentence was able to make a negative notion of her sickness into something positive. I think it's inspiring. It is motivational. So I really invite all the listeners and viewers to give some time. If you cannot join us live tomorrow, please watch the replay. Looking forward to seeing all of you. Again, maraming salamat for your continuous support of Alam Mo Ba. We will have another guest artist next week. It will be an interesting conversation. His name is I can't even say. It's Felson Palad, and he would be the guest for next week for Alam Mo Ba. And also, maraming salamat for those people who are sharing this video. I hope you continue sharing the video and talking about it, not only of our shows, but all the shows of PHLB Radio. It is interesting to know that you are there, that you are constantly supporting us. So maligayang maligaya po sa inyong walang sawang suporta sa mga shows namin dito sa PHLB Radio. That being said, before I close the show, be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. And any act of kindness that you do to people, I practically guarantee that it will come back to you in so many ways, in so many forms, and in different times. So with that, I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, 10 p.m. on the Pacific, and of course 1 o'clock Sunday in the Philippines for the other show that I have. It's Dear Kuya Josh Atichet. And hanggang sa muli, those people who, it's Saturday right now, enjoy your Sunday, people in the Philippines, and happy weekend to everybody here in this side of the country, in this side of the world, and to those people who I will miss for next week. God bless us all. Enjoy your weekend. And again, maraming salamat for your continued support. Good night, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Thank you. Bye-bye po. It was a pleasure.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PA